guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jag, and in today's class we're going to continue with our Math 6 content, and today we're going to cover the surface area of prisms, okay? And this is actually a very important topic. Again, when you're looking at various types of prisms, these are 3D shapes, okay? When you're doing the surface area, what the surface area means is I'm finding the area of all the sides of this prism, whether it's a rectangular prism or a triangular prism, and I'm adding all the areas of the sides together. All right, with that, let's get started. Let's try an example here. Okay, so let's start off with the cube first. Okay, so say I have a cube that looks like this. So whenever it's a 3D shape, I always like to make dotted lines so it's better to visualize, okay, all of the different sides. So let's make like some lines here. Okay, so it looks like this, okay? So as soon as I make the lines, you can see the 3D shape itself, that there are 6 sides to this cube. And let's do a side. Let's make each side 8 centimeters, okay? So I have 6 sides here. Because all the sides are the same, or 6 surfaces, all the sides are the same for this cube, okay? So now say I'm looking for the surface area, okay? I'm going to multiply one side, so I'm doing 8 times 8, which is equal to 64, okay, centimeters squared, okay? And this is the area, okay, because this is a cube, this is the area of basically one surface, okay? So say I was just calculating the front of the cube and the area of that, okay? And for the cube actually, because I know there are 6 surfaces, I can just take the 64, okay, and I'm going to multiply this by the 6 surfaces, okay, and that's equal to 384 centimeters squared, okay? Does everyone see how to do that? Okay, so that's all we're doing for the cube. So I can see that the surface area of a cube is very simple. Sometimes in the word problems, if you're looking in the textbook, the word problems might ask you to not include maybe the top of this box, of this cardboard box, which is in the shape of a cube. And at that point, I would make sure I just multiply 64 by 5. And that would be the surface area of all 5 surfaces of the cube, not including the top of the box. Okay? So with that, let's go to the next shape here. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. This time we're going to try the rectangular prism. So let me draw the prism out here so everyone can see it. Okay, this is a rectangular prism. Okay, and again, make sure you are drawing the dotted lines here. Okay, it can help you visualize all of the 6 surfaces. Okay, so it looks something like this. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to give you some dimensions. Okay, so this is the length. Let's do 12 centimeters. And the width looks kind of small. Let's do 4 centimeters. Okay, and the height is basically the height of the rectangular prism. Let's make this 5 centimeters. Okay, so again, when the teacher gives you questions, or if you're doing questions in the textbook, there can be decimals here as well. Okay, I'm using whole numbers just to keep it simple and so everyone can grasp this concept. Okay, so what we're going to do for the surface area, okay, I'm not going to give you a formula here. What we're going to do is find the area of all the sides, and then we're going to add them together, okay? So let's try the front, okay, and the back, okay, of this prism. And again, because this is the area, make sure you are writing out the formula. It's a rectangle, so we're just doing length times width here, okay? So we're doing the front and the back, so you have to make sure you can kind of visualize it. I'm looking at this front side. The length is 12 centimeters, okay? And I'm using this, the height, which is 5 centimeters. So I'm just going to put 12 times 5, okay? And do the calculation first actually, okay? And then make sure you multiply this by 2, because I'm doing basically the front and the back of this prism, okay? So this is 60 centimeters squared. We're going to times it by 2. It's 120 centimeters squared. Okay, And again, we are not done here, okay? We have to still find the area of all the other sides. All right, so why don't we just write it right here? So again, the area is length times width, okay? We're going to try the top and the bottom, okay, of this rectangular prism, all right? So say I'm looking at the bottom part here. This time I can see that I'm using the 12 centimeters, okay, times the 4 centimeters. So I have to make sure that I'm looking at which two dimensions I am using, okay? And the teacher always likes to see that you're writing out exactly what you are calculating, okay? Essentially, I noticed because all three sides are different here in the rectangular prism, I am multiplying each of these sides by each other in different combinations, and I'm multiplying it by 2, okay? So this is 48 centimeters squared. And again, okay, we are going to multiply this by 2, which is 96 centimeters squared, okay? And again, these are, we did the front and back, the top and the bottom. And now we're going to do the sides, okay? So I'm going to write it right here. And the area, again, is still length times width, okay? So don't get fooled there. Even the side of the rectangular prism here, it is a rectangle because I can see that both of the dimensions are different, okay? So with that, we're going to do, this is the side, so I'm going to just color it here, okay? And I can see the two dimensions I'm using here is going to be 4 and 5. So I'm going to put 5 times 4, which is 20 centimeters squared. And always, again, do the area first, and then you can multiply that by 2. So times 2, which is 40 centimeters squared, okay? So this is what we have so far, okay? Now if I'm looking for my total surface area, all I need to do is basically add all of the terms together here, okay? So why don't we take this off, okay? So I'm going to take off just like this part here so we can all see it. So that we're going to put here total, okay, surface area. Okay, and all you need to do is add these numbers together. So we're going to do 120 plus 96 plus 40. Okay, now I'm going to take it off. Okay, so that's just in case we forget what the numbers are. So take your calculator and we are going to add them all together. And we are getting 256 centimeters squared. Okay, does everyone see that? So this is the final surface area for our rectangular prism, okay? And one more time, you should actually maybe like number, okay? Whatever it is that you are calculating, keep it very clear. The teacher does want to see the calculations along with the actual formulas before you are plugging in any of the values. Okay, are there any questions? Okay, good, that looks good. So with that, let's try this last example. Okay, I'm going to just take this off. Okay, and this time we're going to look at the triangular prism. So let me draw one out here. Okay, so let's try this one. Okay, and the reason for this is actually a very common triangular prism that you'll see in the textbook. Okay, I'm going to draw the dotted lines one more time so everyone can see it. Okay, so it looks something like this, okay? I'm going to give you some dimensions here. So let's do something simple. So 10 centimeters. Okay, and the small width is basically 4 centimeters, okay? And this side is going to be 8 centimeters. I'm actually going to give you enough information that you can actually solve it, okay? Because this is at the grade 6 level, okay? The teacher will give you all the dimensions, okay? So don't worry about that. And let's do this one as 11 centimeters, okay? So that looks good, okay? I think we have all of the different sides and the various sides that we can calculate the surface area of this triangular prism. Okay, so let's get started. So this time I'm going to actually number it here, okay? So let's try like the base, okay, of this triangular prism, okay? And the base here is basically this bottom part, okay? So I could see I'm doing 10 times 4, which is equal to 40 centimeters squared. Don't forget to put the squared again. We are calculating the area. It is not the perimeter, okay? So I have the base, okay? So let's try maybe this back. If you can see it, this is the back rectangle. So I'm just gonna put back rectangle, okay? So you know what I'm talking about here. Okay, again, if I look at it here, it is a rectangle, so I'm going to put area equals length times width. Okay, and look very closely. This side is 8 centimeters, okay? And the base here, you see how this is 4 centimeters? This is also 4 centimeters, okay? So I'm just going to do 8 times 4, which is 32 centimeters squared. Okay, does everyone see that so far? So we're doing it kind of like in a sequence here, okay? I'm just showing you all of the rectangles, all right? So there's one more rectangle, so make sure you're looking at all of the different sides, okay? There are 3 rectangles altogether. This is the rectangle we're looking at now. You see this one on top here? So I'm just gonna put top maybe here. So area, length times width. And take a look at it very closely, okay? The top rectangle here is 11 times 4. Okay, and I'm just gonna, let's just write it going down. So equals 44 centimeters squared, okay? So far we have done all 3 of these rectangles. And then the last thing we have to do, I notice, is the triangles. And there are 2 triangles on both sides of this triangular prism. So I'm going to put 4. Okay, triangles, okay? Again, we have to make sure we do remember the area of a triangle. Okay, so base times height divided by 2. And in this case, because there are 2 triangles, I can also just write times 2. Okay, so I can actually include that within the formula. Okay, so the base here is 10. Okay, I notice this is 10 times 8. So I'm going to put 10 times 8 divided by 2 and times 2. So we're just going to write it on the side here. Okay, I notice here with some mental math, the 2 is on the top and the bottom. It's going to just cancel out. And I'm left with 80 centimeters squared. Does everyone see that? Or if that confuses you, just use your calculator, okay, and punch it in there. Okay, so we have all of the sides now, okay? Again, 3 rectangles, there are 2 triangles. Make sure you don't miss any surface of the triangular prism here, okay? We're going to do the total surface area. And again, I'm just taking all of these final answers. We're going to add them together. So 40 plus 32 plus 44 and plus 80. Okay, so that's actually a like box. Okay, one more time, box your answers at the end, okay? And that's just so the teacher can check and make sure you're doing it correctly. Again, all teachers will have the actual answer key to a test or a quiz, and they're basically just checking their answer key and making sure your answers are matching up, okay? So they might not actually be even looking, okay, at all of your steps here. They're just looking at their answer key, making sure that you're getting each of these areas. And then they're going to look at your final answer and make sure that is the same as well, okay? So we're doing 40 plus 32 plus 44 plus 80, okay? So I'm going to just put it into my calculator here. And we are getting 196 centimeters squared, okay? So I can see basically for this triangular prism, my surface area is slightly less here, okay? Again, it just depends on what the dimensions are that are given for the triangular prism. And remember that the triangular prism has various types of shapes. This is the most common one that you'll see in the textbook, and that's the reason we went through it, okay? Even if the triangular prism looks slightly different, don't worry about that, okay? Just try and find the area of all of the surfaces of the prism, and then you're just going to add them all together, all right? So that looks good. And if there are no questions, that brings this video to an end. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And we can be helping everyone out with our Math 6 content. And I will bring out more content as well within the next few videos. So thanks for watching one more time. And I will see everyone in the next video. Thanks. Bye.